Thank you. I know we're between now and cocktail hour, so we'll have a very exciting fireside chat. My name is Kevin Gorman. I'm VP of Sales at OceanX. OceanX is a beauty and wellness 3PL. Some of our partners include Glossier, Madison Reed. In the wellness space, we have Seed, Athletic Greens. We do some of the celebrity brands, including J.Lo and Scarlett Johansson's new line, The Outset. And so we're here to answer any questions if you're a beauty and wellness, looking for beauty and wellness services. So I'd like to take a minute, and we have two amazing speakers. We have Diana Ransom from Inc. Magazine. She's the executive editor, and Craig Dubitsky from Good Products. He's one of the founders. They've since been purchased by Colgate, so I'm sure it's going to be an excellent fireside chat. So thank you, guys.
Right?
All
So
right,
it,
options. Okay. Cool. All right. Should I face you a little so like we can talk and see people?
yeah.
Is that okay?
Can you hear us? Like it just.
Or do
thing
you
working?
want this for
Okay.
your drink?
You know that it just now occurred to me.
We can use this as a
This is
non-cocktail cocktail table.
Okay.
Look, watch this.
This
Is this helpful?
going to be very useful.
Okay.
Water table area.
All right. I'll do that too. I'll put that over.
Hi everyone. I'm Diana Ransom from Inc. Magazine.
Hi. Wow, you did it.
And this is Craig Dubitsky from Hello Products. He's the founder and also Chief Innovation Strategist at Colgate. So kind of amazing. So we're going to leave some questions. We're going to leave some time available for questions at the end. So start thinking of them now. And this is a grand opportunity to ask them some customized advice for whatever business issue you're dealing with. This man is literally a font, so definitely utilize it. So Craig, so 2 jobs. I thought only Elon Musk did that.
And Jack Dorsey and a whole lot
Yeah.
of people.
Well,
my wife was
Oh.
like 5 jobs.
Well, okay, so congratulations.
Thank you.
And so why don't you start off by telling us a little bit more about Hello Products?
Sure. So Hello Products. I started Hello. I'm so bad with dates. I'm like a dog. Like, you know how like if you have anyone have a dog?
I do.
You know, yeah. You open the door and you close the door, and the dog feels like they haven't seen you for a year, but you just literally open and close the door. I'm like that with dates. I'm like, when was it? So I have to think back. About 11 years ago, it was me, 3 people, and a dog. And I was talking with my new friend, Aaron, there he is, that I liberated some people from a very lovely company that I have a lot of respect for called Unilever. I like to say I liberated them. And we started in Montclair, New Jersey. So it was me, 3 people, and a dog. And I had this idea that oral care kind of, to use a term loosely, it kind of sucked. I thought it was really unfriendly and nasty. And I just had this moment, like literally, I wasn't setting out like, I want to start a company and I have this idea. No, it was literally an epiphany north of here. I think it was 6th Avenue and 26th Street in a CVS. Yay, CVS.
You got to go back to that place.
I drive by it and I'm like, thank you. I was in the store for something, I don't remember what, and I walked by the oral care set. And I love packaging and design.
Yeah.
And a package caught my eye, but for all the wrong reasons. And I thought, this was a design choice? Like, why did they make this thing? Ugh. And not to be uncool and say bad things about somebody's, baby, but they just had this weird design choice. So I'll just leave it at that. So I was like, what is that? And then I just started looking at everything, and I noticed extracted teeth on all these products. And I thought, isn't that weird? Like, they're trying to sell me stuff that's supposedly good for my smile and my mouth, but all they're showing me are like dead soldiers. Like, they're showing me like the roots dangling down, and it's like a highly stylized tooth. It's got, shiny foil and circles spinning around it and stuff, but I'm like, that's just really weird. It's like if I were Volvo selling you a car and I had, like life-size cutouts of roadkill on the ground, and that one said that's a BMW driver and that's a Toyota driver, like, but come into the Volvo, it's going to be great. We're the safe car. It's like, use my product with extracted
It's like the
teeth.
product packaging in like Canada for cigarettes.
Oh, it's like scare. Yeah, so everything
odd.
just sort of jumped out at me as being really scary, and I'm not a chemist, full admission, and even as a non-chemist, I picked up this one product that I used, and I was like, what is this ingredient? And I Googled it in the store, and I was like, holy, can I curse? I curse sometimes.
I think we're all
I was like, holy shit, like they can't have this ingredient in hand soap, but it's in my toothpaste? Like, holy shit. And then I started looking around more. This is all like in real time in the store. And I just saw other things that freaked me out. And I was like, I have kids. Like,
So you
this is in my
Googled it
kids'
while
CVS?
you were in the store?
Yeah, like
Okay.
literally on aisle, 6th Avenue, CVS, yeah. And everything at the category level to me was like, this brand's killing, this brand's fighting. Everything's kill, fight, eliminate, destroy. And it's just really warlike and aggressive. And I just had this epiphany. I'm like, I just don't want to kill or fight with you. And I say hello. So that was the birth of Hello, CVS on 6th Avenue.
Very
yeah,
cool.
Yeah.
And so how did you end up with this, side hustle as chief innovation strategist?
Well,
at
so Hello, we grew. It wasn't like the straight shot, it's not like, woo, total hockey stick. There were many moments, because we're entrepreneurs, right? We lived through ups and downs. So we lived through a lot of ups and downs. Ultimately, Hello became the fastest selling, fastest growing oral care brand. It started going wild with the #1 natural toothpaste and mouthwash in Walmart and in Target, the #1 #1 toothpaste in Dollar General, not just natural or like we have the #1 natural deodorant in Dollar General. It just things just started to go wild, and ultimately a lot of people noticed. And we were very fortunate. We had a lot of suitors and bidders, and ultimately
I think
Colgate
in like the
acquired us.
pre-interview you said something like 70 suitors?
No. We had well, not suitors who like said we want to fall in love with your business and marry you. But I stopped counting at about, I think, 85 countries that had called retailers and distributors from over 85 countries, and I just stopped counting at that point. But it'd be like major retailers from other parts of the world that would call and say, we want your product, we want your product. And anyway, so we grew. So we were acquired by Colgate, and I like to tell people we weren't really acquired. It's like we joined Colgate. Like I always said, no one came to work at Hello. They worked with, we worked with each other, not for each other. And it sounds hokey, but I really meant it. And I used to say no one bought our product, they joined our brand. They joined our stuff. So I feel like we joined Colgate. And because of that, I have 2 roles. So when you're the founder of anything, you're always the founder, even if it doesn't work. And I got those too in my resume, right? So, I'm the founder of things that haven't worked. So I'm the founder, but then part of the magic for me was they said, well, we love your brand and we really like the way you think. And, oh, by the way, you're going to have this other role. I'm like, what's that? Oh, you're going to be the chief innovation strategist for the Colgate-Palmolive Company. I report to the global president and the chairman CEO, which is like, do they know I don't know how to tuck in a shirt? Do they know I don't know how to shave? Like, I have a guitar next to my desk. Like, do they know? But they did know, which is really cool.
Yeah.
They were like, we want that.
So what do you do on like a day-to-day basis?
To give you an idea, like last night, I was on the phone with our innovation center in China. And before that call, I was on with folks now running Hello in Australia. That was just like the night. It doesn't stop because Colgate operates in like 216 countries. So I get to touch a lot of different things. So I'm looking at everything from how do we recruit differently? If we want to talk about D&I is terrific. It's important. It's vital. But how do we also get diversity of thought as well? The diversity is important along a lot of different lines. So I've said things like, well, you seem to recruit from the same handful of business schools. Like, well, what if we talk to, what if they don't have an MBA? That's interesting. Like, what if you talk to people at Babson? It's like, well, we don't have a connection to Babson. I'm like, well, now you do. Like, I'm an entrepreneur resident at Babson. Oh, did you go to Babson? No. Well, how did that happen? I'm like, I went to something, I spoke, someone spoke to me, we spoke to each other, we spoke a couple of times, and she said, you should be an entrepreneur resident at Babson. That sounds awesome.
That's so you are an
Yeah.
entrepreneur. I
So
think Babson's a great school. It's a great
Babson's
school
amazing.
for
But
entrepreneurship, too.
exactly. That's why I brought it up. I'm like, why don't you have like a different filter when you're bringing people in? Like, how about entrepreneurs? And I told them they have 35,000 entrepreneurs if they think about it the right way. So part of my job is to help sort of unleash this entrepreneurial vibe across the place.
Right. So how do you do that? Like, do you have focus groups where you
No, I
come
don't
bring me
believe
your
in
ideas
focus
and
groups.
then I'll steal them?
No,
I'm just kidding.
I know.
That's
I know.
only what 3M does.
Ooh, oh, that hurt.
Ooh.
No focus groups. I spend a lot of time listening to people, which is funny because like I'm yakking so much. But yeah, I spend a lot of time listening to people, and I'll do things like say something nutty, like, guess what? Next Tuesday, let's just go to Whole Foods, Dollar General, an art supply store, a local hardware store. They're like, what? I'm like, I just want to show you guys like crazy shit that I see and see through a different lens and see, like, I like watching. It sounds bad. I think people write their narrative through their stuff, and they're given pretty crappy stuff. So I like to just sort of see and ask and figure out like why people do what they do. Like everything we're wearing was a choice. I mean, clearly I've like a sartorial leaning towards picnic tables, or Italian restaurants from 1974 or something. But we all make these choices, right? So I'm like, why did she pick that thing up versus that thing? Why did he go for that one versus that one?
This is ethnography, right?
Totally, but it's not the formal version where we're going to sit back behind a one-way mirror. You got to be in it. So big companies pay third parties to do this. I'm like, and no disrespect to third parties, they bring value for sure. Otherwise, they wouldn't exist. But I'm like, what if we just like observe some things out in the wild? So I'll do things like that. I come up with all sorts of ideas for things they're working on. I'm like, what about this? Or have you seen this? Because I'm very external. And a lot of large organizations, I think, end up being very internal, and their version of external tends to be through third parties. So I'm sort of like flipping that a little bit.
So what changed for Hello Products after you got acquired?
I feel like now, well, a couple things, more than a couple, a whole lot of things. One, the fun part, when you make something, you don't know what's going to happen. I hope everyone here, if they're starting something or have started something, you have hopes and dreams for your baby. It's your baby, right? You love everything about it, warts and all. It's like, oh my God, our baby is now in Canada, our baby's now in Australia, our baby's now in the UK, our baby's in New Zealand, our baby's now, we've got things going on in China. It's like, oh my God, like our little thing is going out into the world. The reason I was so excited about Colgate, and very few people know this, and it's not a secret, but it was a secret to me until we became part of Colgate. It's the single most penetrated brand in the world. Like, what? It's like, yeah. I think the last data I saw was 67% of every household in the world wakes up with Colgate in it. And the next nearest brand is 40%, which is a pretty big delta.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm like, we can take this thing out
So you
for
have
a
like
spin.
immediate distribution.
Yeah, it's incredible.
For anything.
They're also the largest oral care brand in the world. So it was just great to be able from day one with a partner like that to be able to go like, whoosh, we can do amazing things. We can manufacture differently, more efficiently, by differently. We can distribute more efficiently.
So what's the downside?
The downside, what's the downside? We've been really lucky.
No,
so,
come on.
Yeah.
You're less nimble, you have to get permission to do things now.
Sometimes, they're very good at what they do. So there are no loose ends on anything. And I mean like nothing. So some of the hard part for me has been like, sorry, but you're fucking with our UPC code and how it looks, and like, I don't care that it's more efficient for you if you make the UPC code this big. Our UPC codes look like little tubes of toothpaste. They're funky.
Yeah.
I don't know if this has one. Yeah. So I'm like, don't mess with my
Cute.
UPC code. Like, it's cool. And like, they're like, but. I'm like, no, like you can't fuck with it, sorry. And to their credit, they're like, okay. Like we didn't know. They're not like, no one's trying to be, untoward. They're just doing what they do. Like, we're efficient. Like, this is how we make it efficient. We make the barcode really big so that the likelihood of it not getting scanned is, goes from X% to X minus, percent. And I'm like, it scans. We sold a lot of these. Like, it scans. They're like, you don't know our equipment. It has to scan on our stuff. I'm like, if it'll scan at CVS on 6th Avenue, it's going to scan on your equipment. Like, just leave it alone. So those are fights you have.
Yeah. So in exiting business is a pet peeve of yours,
Yes.
and I would love for you to describe why it's a pet peeve.
All right, there are a couple of reasons why it's a pet peeve.
Yeah.
One is, I hope I don't say anything that makes anyone want to run for the door, but see the red exit sign back there? Really, look, take a look. It's not because I think you're going to run, but it's like, so I really love design. Like I have a psychotic obsession with design. So when you're driving,
Encyclopedia knowledge of.
I don't know.
Design too.
I'm like
Okay,
in
so
it
sorry.
deep. I'm in it. I just love it. So when you're driving your car and you see the color red, what do?
You stop.
Yeah. If you needed to leave, there were a fire, would you want to stop or would you want to go? You'd want to friggin' go. Red means stop. By the way, if there were flames, you wouldn't see the red through the flame. Most modern buildings now, the exit signs are green because green means go, and green you could see. Like green is a color you can see through. So this shit drives me crazy. So that's one thing I hate exit signs. The other reason I hate the word exit, because people ask me all the time, which I love people. Like I hope we stick around and you ask all the questions and I can answer anything. I'm an entrepreneur. Like I love entrepreneurs. People go like, well, you had an exit. You had an exit, you know, because that's like the dream, right? Like you have an exit. And I'm like, I didn't have an exit. I had an entrance. And like, what do you mean? I'm like, we're with the biggest company in the world that does what we did. Like we did something that they couldn't do and they admired what we did and they're like taking us all over the world. That's fucking awesome. That's not an exit, it's an entrance. It's like, oh, but they bought your company. I'm like, you know, we joined them. Was there a transaction? Yes. I can't be coy and say there wasn't a transaction. Yeah, there was. You could go into the K1, you go into the annual report, you could look it up. It's there. Yes, it was a material financial event. Mm-hmm. That's great. But when I hear people tell me about their exit or their exit strategy, because I'm also an investor too, it bothers me. I'm like, where's the exit for me? Like I'm looking for the green or the red exit sign, you know? I'm like, your exit strategy, there shouldn't be an exit strategy. The thing should be, I want to build the best product, the coolest brand, have the best culture so that people don't come to work here, they join. And if you do that right, the rest takes care of itself. It's like the math is easy, right? The math, you could learn calculus at MIT, you could learn calculus in community college, you could learn calculus in high school. It's the same calculus, that's right. But it's like the magic is the harder part. So it's like, how do you make a product, a thing, an experience that is much better? And if you do that right, it's not about exit. You're going to build something that's profitable, enduring, meaningful, that people don't buy, but they fall in love with. So I'm always like, we were talking, I'm like, tell me how the thing is better. Like, how is it better? How is it better? I'll do something. There are two in here, so I'm not going to deprive you of one. No, I'm gonna just show you like my
Are you
crazy
gonna
thing.
eat toothpaste?
Yeah, just to show you, like, is it better? Like, does it prevent cavities? Yes. Do we test in the same labs? This is way before Colgate. That Colgate, P&G, J&J, GSK use? Yup. Like, don't ever do what I'm going to do, but anyway. Well, you know, if I did that.
You want that water now?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
And, you know, you guys feeling it? Okay. So, I don't want to get a little toothpaste on the nice chairs. But like the tubes are custom tubes and they don't get crinkly. Like they just, you know, retain their shape. I'm helping this one out a little bit because for time.
Okay.
But we're saving marriages. Like people get divorced over this stuff. Like you're an idiot, you're squeezing the wrong end of the tube.
So
There's
yeah,
no wrong end.
let's
So
stop
make
for
your
a sec.
thing better.
Let's talk about product design a bit.
Yeah.
You know, you're in a room full of people who like geek out over products. So, what is your favorite and why?
Like any product?
Yeah.
Oh God. That's my favorite product. That's like such a tough one. You know, there's like the obvious stuff, which is only obvious because we're all wired the same way, so we tend to like
Apple.
things. Yeah, I mean, come on. Like really, like I don't live on my iPhone. Yeah, of course I do. It's amazing. Is it my favorite thing? I respect it and appreciate it probably as much as anybody. Someone asked me once, they're like, what do you think is like the coolest thing? And I thought about that for like 3 seconds because I was on the spot. And I said Pantone. And they're like,
Color
what?
of the year thing?
No, it's that like they found a way to codify and own color. Holy shit, that's amazing. Like I can't own sound. I can't own the notion of automobility. There are a lot of cars, car companies, motorcycle. They own color. Like, how'd they do that? That's amazing. It's everywhere. It's free. It's like endless. They seem to make a new one every year that wins an award. That's incredible. Like, and you create a business model around that. Wow.
And people cover it annually.
Yeah.
Like media.
I mean, incredible.
It's pretty bizarre.
So I just, I don't know. It hit me one day. It's like, what a wild thing.
So how did you end up as an investor in Method?
I had a startup that, I was saying earlier, like not all startups work or all founders, it's not all like whoosh and stuff. So I had this startup and it was in a totally different space, moving and relocation. I had this idea around that and that it was a horrible experience, and U-Haul trucks with verbiage like adventures in moving were just, misplaced. And
I just had to drive a U-Haul last weekend. So
isn't it great?
It was just unique,
was it an adventure in moving?
Uniquely fun experience.
Yeah, it's horrible, right? So I had this idea. I met some VCs. I raised a bunch of money. I moved to San Francisco. The company was acquired by Public Storage, which is a big self-storage REIT. And my old CFO, who's lovely and still does my taxes every year, he's the greatest, he said, I met this young guy. He likes all the same stuff you do, brand and design and culture, and you guys have to meet. So this is like my life lesson for everybody. Take every meeting. Like, I take every meeting. Like, no joke, I'm not kidding. There's a Skype button on the Hello website. It comes to me. I pick it up unless I'm like here or on a plane. It's legit. I've had 2 instances where I've had to tell people to put on a shirt because they don't think it's real, and I'm like, dude, put on a shirt. And the creepiest thing, one of them was a pediatric dentist, and I was like, wow, I'm really creeped out. Like, put on a shirt. Anyway, yeah, it's real. So, and I give my cell phone number out all the time, 917-392-1000, if you want to call it right. So take every meeting, avail yourself. So I've always been like that because I love people. So my CFO, former CFO, says, you got to meet this guy. Of course, we meet, and we had this crazy bond.
This is Eric Ryan.
Eric Ryan. Mm-hmm. Eric Ryan from Method. You can't make this stuff up. I was like, I like packaging. He's like, I like packaging. I'm like, yeah, me too. It's like, really? Like, I really like it. I'm like, yeah, me too. He's like, no one really come on. What's your favorite? Oh, you're not going to know it. Well, why not? It's not from America. Same with mine. Anyway, it was a product called Physiosport by Unilever. It predated Lynx, which in Europe, it's Lynx, here it's Axe. And it was the first men's 3-in-1 shampoo, conditioner, body wash. Was he in CPG? No, he was working at a Crave agency on like Saturn and The Gap. Was I in CPG? No, I was working for Simon Property Group, the largest owner of retail real estate in the world. But we loved packaging.
Wait,
so
and you both loved that same
product. One. Like, you couldn't fake knowing this thing. He was flipping, I was flipping. Because it hadn't existed in like 20 or 30 years or something. Like, or 20, yeah, probably 20 years. I'm like, holy, I don't know a single human being that even knows this thing, let alone somebody in America who knows this thing, because it was from the UK. So I said, I heard you have some idea that's keeping you up at night. And he said, and I quote, yeah, I think cleaning products suck. Very eloquent. I said, well, why do you say they suck? And he said, because the biggest thing you buy as a consuming person is your home, and the stuff you use to take care of it is so ugly, you hide it, and so toxic, you have to lock it up. And I thought that was the most brilliant thing I'd ever heard. Like, literally, like every synapse I had fired. I was like, holy shit, like, that's amazing. I said, I think that's brilliant. I think you're right. I said, I don't think that's the only reason why they suck, because, I had to fit in and say suck, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm like, and he's like, well, why do you say that? And I said, because the brands all suck, because culturally they're way off base, because they were all created when women were supposed to deep clean the house every day, leave the sports page and martini by the door for their man, and wait upstairs in the missionary position, because like that's what it was going to be about. That was like your life. You were a homemaker, and you had to like have the hot meal and have 2.3 kids. And last I checked, that was not the world that certainly I wanted to occupy, let alone that I live in, like luckily us now. And all the brands had X's in the name, because I love names and naming, because I have such a shitty name, so I'm kind of obsessed with names and naming. And I said, they all have X's in them. Ajax, Windex, Borax, Oxidol, they all had X's because it was like better living through chemistry back then. The little lady was going to have, the periodic table demystified for her so she could clean better and get whiter whites and brighter brights through the magic of science. And the space race was going on, so the big thing culturally then was if you married an astronaut, you were like Jackie O, like you were like hot and happening. So the idea that you could flip the cultural script on something that is so pervasive as a category to me was like the craziest, wildest, sexiest thing ever. And anyway, he had this idea, and his co-founder, Adam Lowry, the two of them, he was a chemist, and Eric was the marketing agency guy. And anyway, I met them. They were literally mixing products in the bathroom. And the company was originally 1731 Brand House Designs, Inc., because they had a little space they rented on Union Street in San Francisco, 1731 Union Street. Anyway, and that was Method. So, and I went to everyone I knew to co-invest in Method. Everyone told me no. Everyone told me it's stupid. Nobody cares. It's dish soap. You're out of your mind. It'll never work. This is before there were like a million consumer venture or private equity firms. So it was like, you are out of your mind. And I had this thesis, which I still have, which is not only do people care about their stuff, but basically there are no boring categories. There's just bad executions. We care about, like, I don't know about you, but opening and closing this door, like I love the doorknob, I love the heft of it, but I friggin' hated that you can't open and close it smoothly. You gotta sort of clunk it, make it close. Like I care about the doorknob, I care about exit signs. You care about your necklace, you care about your strap from your bag. Like we care about everything, and there's no judgment. Like it's kind of cool. We're lucky to live in a world where we have choices. So, you know, if we can come up with better things for people, because there's no boring category, then we win.
You were just riffing, and I thought it was great, so I didn't want to stop you.
Oh,
you
I'm
know?
sorry.
So you obviously invested, and
Yeah.
nobody co-invested with you,
No.
but so they were
Not in the
groveling
beginning.
later.
Yeah, a lot of people came back and were like, how'd you, I'm like, I didn't do anything.
Yeah.
I didn't start Method. I was just lucky enough to appreciate that they had this really brilliant vision and idea. And as I ate toothpaste, I used to eat or drink a lot of Method window cleaner. I mean, I went to investors. Yeah, I would bring Windex. I remember one meeting, and I
That's
won't
really
say which
heartening,
firm.
actually.
Yeah, and I would be like, they would say, you're crazy. And I'd say, well, here's the thing. Why don't you open that Windex? I'm going to open this Method window cleaner. And I'd pull the Polycom speakerphone like next to me, and I would turn on the ringer so you could hear the dial tone. And I would dial 9 and 1 and hold my finger over the 1. And I'd say, I'm going to take a big swig. I'll be fine. You take a big swig of that Windex. You're fucked. And I'll just have the economy of motion. I'm just going to have to hit the 1. I already hit the 9 and the 1. So I'll just go right there. We'll get poison control really fast. And they'd say, like, you're nuts. I'm like, you're nuts because you spray that shit all over your house. And all those people passed and they came back. How can we own 51% of Method? What can we write a check for $25 million? Like, no, because we wouldn't even know what to do with it. But, you know, forget about the fact that you didn't get it first. That's okay. You're allowed to change your mind. But, you know, no. So yeah, it's been a fun ride.
Oh, no, I can only imagine. So we do have some time left. Anyone have a question for Craig? Yes.
I'd love to hear about one of your major flops.
Oh my God, how much time we
So
got?
her question is, she'd love to hear about one of the major flops.
Sure, here's one. So a hello flop. When I started, because I love design, I'm really lucky and I've gotten to meet like some of my design heroes. You know, they say like, don't meet your heroes, it'll be disappointing. Not for me, it's been like, I'm the luckiest person basically you just met. So I got to meet this amazing guy named Chris Bangle, who used to be the global head of design for BMW. So we kind of hit it off, which was amazing for me. I'm like, I can't believe I'm meeting this guy. He was the first guy to bring design to the boardroom as far as I knew. Like other than Steve Jobs and Apple, like he was at the board level at BMW. And under his watch, they overtook Mercedes for the first time in either company's history. And he was vilified and pilloried and all the fun adjectives we could use to talk about a guy getting like destroyed publicly. And
Tarred and feathered.
tarred and feathered, absolutely. It was ugly for him. There were petitions that came out to like have him ejected from BMW. Anyway, so I got to meet him, and I partnered with BMW Design when I started Hello to be my global design partner, because he introduced me and he was like, I'd love it if you'd go inspire our US-based design team. I'm like, are you shitting me? So I got to spend time with them. We all had a good time, and I was like, I'm starting this thing called Hello, and I want to make like things for $5, and for you, Mini is entry level, and you know, M cars are powerful, or Rolls Royces. Like I want to make everyday things that are, you know, affordable and amazing. And they're like, we want to work with you. So long story short, partner with them, design these amazing things. We won a red dot. The year we won, the Audi R8 was a big winner, and the Nest thermostat, and Little Hello, me, 3 people, and a dog. So we win all these design awards. I didn't want a box for toothpaste. I was like, no, it's a waste. And the products are too big, and I want to eliminate as much, you know, inefficiency on every level, like from a sustainability level to from a volumetric level. we're going to design this thing so I can fit 2 additional layers on every pallet. And what's that going to do for carbon footprint? And what? Anyway, so we designed this beautiful looking, cool toddle. It was amazing. We won all these design awards, a good design award. I mean, it was amazing. Total failure. Not because it wasn't beautiful.
What was it called? A
A toddle. It's like a combination of a tube and a bottle.
Oh.
It's really funky. It's really, really a pretty, beautiful thing. It was way ahead of its time. It's like you're never wrong, you're just early. Well, we were wrong. And we were early. Maybe we'll bring it back. But anyway, it was a total failure. We launched it. Target, Walgreens, CVS. People thought it was a hand lotion. Like the size impression, because it was so volumetrically superior, because it's friggin' BMW. Like, they can't make a bottle. They make cars that go 0 to 100 and 0 again, and like keep us alive, right? They can't make a bottle. So of course they can. And it was so advanced that people didn't know what it was. They thought it was a hand lotion. I remember someone calling me, oh my God, I see your product on 2.5 Men. I'm like, I've never seen that show. Oh my God, I took a picture, let me show it to you. I'm like, it's not in the bathroom. Like, why isn't it in the bathroom? They thought it was a hand lotion. Like, nobody knew what it was. So when you saw this thing on the shelf next to, you know, a tube of, a box of Crest or Colgate or Sensodyne, people were like, I don't know what that is. And it was hello, and I made it really austere. I was like, I want this thing just to be like a sculptural piece of art that's gonna make your bathroom friggin' mwah. But people were like, no, I want a crinkly, nasty tube that I throw in the drawer. So it was a total failure, and I quickly was like, we're going to a tube, but we have to make a really cool tube. So I made these custom tubes, and they're BPA free, and they're made in America, and they're amazing. And you always could have recycled them, except the stream wasn't ready. But anyway, they're beautiful tubes. And when I made a box, I was like, I gotta make it FSC certified paper. I gotta print with soy-based inks. I'm gonna make UPCs look cool, because if I have to play the box game, I'm at least gonna have a cool box.
Wow.
So it was a big mistake, like what we launched with, as cool as it is.
How
or
much
was.
did it cost you?
Technical term, shit ton. I literally built custom tooling, and we had a mouthwash that also went with it. I mean, I built 48 unit cavitational tools. Like, I mean, we're talking like the tool, and you're laughing because you know how heavy that thing is? It's like the tooling I built cost millions of dollars. Because I was like, we're going after Crest and Colgate, and we're going after Listerine, like, fuck it, we're going for it. So I didn't build like a one-up tool, like let's experiment and make like a cheap tool. I made the tools in America. Steel, like we cut steel. Like this wasn't like we're gonna make like a little silicone tool, we're gonna stamp something out. It was like, no, we're going big. So yeah, it was a big, like multi-million-dollar. I wanted to get one of the tools and put a glass tabletop and use it as a coffee table.
You should still do
I
that.
want to do it, except
Yeah.
someone said, well, here's what it'll cost to ship. And I was like, all right, that'll be like the most expensive coffee table
It's like moral
ever.
hazard. Good
Yeah,
money
it's
after
just
that.
not good.
So what I just want to know this. What's the best advice you ever got, and who gave it to you? Business advice.
You know, I got this bit of information. It didn't come necessarily as like a bit of business advice, but it was. In my prior life, way back when, I was a trader. Let me spell that properly. So, you know, not someone who gave up secrets for the government or from another government.
Oh,
you know.
not
I was,
trader,
yeah. TRADER. So I was a trader and derivatives trader, futures trader, all this stuff. And someone I worked with who knew me my entire professional life, we'd have like these lunches every couple of years. And he said, you know, I've known you your whole professional life. And something we have in common is we've made every job we've ever had. I never thought about that because I never applied for a job in my whole life, ever. So what I tell people all the time, because I get asked a lot, like, what should I do? This isn't about job. We're not talking about, you know, like, how do I get a job? But I think I was able to make all these things happen because I really availed myself. Just open myself up to anything. LinkedIn is the greatest thing ever. Talking and listening is the greatest thing ever. So my bit of advice that I've learned is avail yourself, because most people just don't even want to put themselves out there. They're a little scared. Listen, talk, ask questions, be out there. That's how you learn. And what I found is that most people really want to help. Most people are really pretty cool. The ones that are like a little Machiavellian and like yucky, the world will take care of them for you. I mean, not that it's about, you know, seeing bad things happen to people, but it's like, you don't have to worry about those people. Just focus on the good people. So the best advice I think I ever got was just like, be open-minded. You never know. If someone would have asked me 20 years ago, like, oh yeah, you're gonna make oral care. My daughter, so I'm married, I have 2 kids. My daughter said to me one day, she's like, so Dad, you don't exactly love like cleaning the house. And you got involved with this household cleaning products company. And you really don't care for the dentist, and you started an oral care company. And prior to that, she's like, and you never use lip balm, and you kind of hate lip balm, and you started this, and you hate shaving, and you started a company that made shave cream and lip balm, EOS. I was a co-founder of that. And she's like, I think the key is find something that really bothers you and that you don't like. So clearly I'm going to start an exit sign company. And just go for that. Because usually I think if something bothers you, we're all kind of wired the same way. It might bother somebody else. So figure out like what bugs you and what you love. So I love design. So I'm like, things bug me and I love design. Like maybe I can apply better design to things that bug me. The end. So that's another bit of advice. Like is your product bothering you or someone else? And is what you're making, true to you and going to make them happier?
So was EOS a mistake at all?
Was EOS a mistake at all? Ooh. I had some real trials and tribulations with EOS. I had a very interesting relationship with my former business partner. But I wouldn't say it was a mistake for me. And basically the same thing happened along the lines of method. There were a lot of people that said, you can't do it. It's chapstick. The whole category is called chapstick. It's like, and it's funny because in certain parts of the world, they call toothpaste Colgate. In Latin America, people say, oh, I need Colgate. That's toothpaste. If you go to India, they say Colgate. They don't say, I need toothpaste. Oh, I need Darbour. It's like, no, I need Colgate. So EOS, to me, was not a mistake by any stretch because it was another chance for me to show people that design can do amazing things. You can elevate the everyday for people. You can take something seemingly very much a commodity and turn it into a desirable. And it just became another proof point for me. So, and I learned a lot. I learned a lot about partnership, good or bad. I learned a lot about design as, to me, the most important thing. And I don't mean design just as form, color, shape, capital D design, touching everything, because everything communicates. So it was only good. I don't have any regrets.
It's a learning experience.
Absolutely, and I wouldn't have started at Hello because I was, on my way to the EOS office at that CVS. It was right around the corner.
I love it.
So,
we came
comes full circle.
here.
Absolutely.
All right, Craig, thank you. Tremendous time.
Thank you for
hopefully
having
you
me.
all got something out of that. Thank you so
Call,
much.
right. Thank you. Yeah, thank you.